Hello, everyone. This is Rethabile Konopo. Welcome to the Employment Justice Lab live Saturday sessions. Today on the studio, I have Mr. Thabo Majola and Khomoli Mololom Madirhetla on the studio. And joining us, we are having a conversation about the impacts of COVID-19 on the creative industry. Lolo and Thabo, I am so excited to have you. And I would like you to introduce yourselves to Botswana out there. Mr. Majola, this is your platform.
Oh, thank you very much, Rethabile, and thank you. And hello to everybody who's listening or watching from wherever. I'm Thabo Majola. I'm the Managing Director of Inceptor Communications. And quite honestly, Inceptor is a disruptive agency. So I think this is a time that will actually test what we are made of.
Thank you so much. Hi, Lolo, can you hear me? Lolo, can you hear me? Okay, I guess we are having a little bit of a technical glitch with Lolo. I don't know if she will catch up with us. I hope she will be getting back with us soon. But the question today, Mr. Majola, that I would like to ask so that we start the session in a good track is let's talk about the creative industry. And how are you guys pivoting your business model right now in this time of this crisis?
Yeah, I think, thank you. Thank you. I think the creative industry is such a large industry to say. And I'll focus a lot of my attention around the advertising, PR, eventing, and communications aspect of it. And excuse me, and I think in terms of the highlight for us right now, I think we've always understood and known that digital is the future, and we've always accepted that digital was coming to shock us or disrupt us at some point or another. But what the coronavirus has done is that it has forced us into embracing technology, and you'll start seeing in a lot of the things that we do that there will be a surge in the digital aspect of things, such as using platforms like this one here today, and many others. Because your traditional outdoor is now being questioned. Your traditional radio, although I still believe to some extent it will still be relevant, your print press will probably drop because of digital. Your conventional
Yeah.
and traditional eventing side of things will also struggle, because now the question is, what can we do from a virtual point of view and be able to move things forward? And there are lots of things, but I honestly believe that even beyond the COVID-19, we would have been disrupted. And I would like to believe that this is the new normal, and our whole business model, the old conventional business model, is dead, which may be good. And if I
Yeah. Just last week, really, well, we are speaking on the show about, yes. Last week we were speaking about educational technology and how things have shifted. I was with Arandi Toko on the show, and we are speaking about how everybody else is working from home now, and obviously everybody else has to be now changing the way in which they're doing business. And Mr. Majola, there has been a lot of worry around the private sector and people who are working on the margins, on the trenches, because a lot of people right now have not benefited from the subsidies, from the government subsidies, and this is something that is really hit hard on the creative industry. I see some freelancers who have been making money um, from part-time work, and this is something that has now gotten Botswana to question if really these subsidies are meant to really assist Botswana. And I want just to hear from you what you think could have been done better to assist Botswana in terms of relief funds.
Okay, I think let me take two steps back and say that from my perspective in our industry, we are one of those fortunate industries that are able to operate despite the COVID-19. Because I think as an agency in SEPTA, we've long communicated to clients that we're open, and we're open for business. We've got teams collaborating from different locations, guys working on production, on key TV, on concepts, on strategies, on media, on PR executions, and managing clients' events or digital events and proposals from locations. So, from a freelance point of view, I think with every disaster, there's an opportunity. So, the first thing we should always jump to is what can we do for ourselves rather than looking elsewhere and trying to point a finger at the next person. So, I would urge
Yeah.
all the designers, freelancers, and all to embrace the fact that we sell our intellectual property, we sell ideas, and therefore, as long as you are connected to the net and you've got a functioning system in front of you, you should be able to do your work. Yes, there will be limitations in terms of the other extensions. But if we get out of the lockdown, it means that we can all deliver. With regards to the government subsidy, to be honest, I was reading this morning that Botswana is actually one of the best in terms of economic subsidy solutions that the government has provided to its citizens. But like it says, it's a subsidy. It's supposed to reduce the impact, not necessarily carry you through it, but it's supposed to be there to reduce the impact so that at least you can cover those basics in terms of
Yes.
living costs. So I think they've done what they can, and I think we need to take the full responsibility and innovate and say, how can I work from home and how can I deliver a great product virtually? I mean, I will use this point now, the show we're on right now. 5 years ago, we wouldn't have this platform. Now you've innovated, you've disrupted the industry on a
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon, 2 o'clock. Here we are sharing content and engaging with individuals. So there are lots of solutions out there. And I think all we need to do is apply ourselves, find a way of doing that, and commercialize them in order to earn a living rather than waiting for the government subsidy. It helps, but it's not meant to take us to the next level.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Mr. Majola, thank you for talking about being able to disrupt ourselves, because this is exactly what the the fourth industrial revolution is all about. It's all about getting ourselves out there. And I was speaking about leadership with Lolo. Lolo is having a technical glitch. It looks like we are having a really bad internet connection. I hope she will be able to get back in. And I was speaking with Lolo this week. We are talking about leadership and the kind of leaders should be able to emerge from this pandemic. And just from your view of things right now, and obviously, with the coping mechanism of Botswana, I see a lot of Botswana really trying to catch up with everything else. I see Botswana now using Microsoft Teams, Zoom. They're utilizing all the relevant platforms, whether it's social media. We are now moving into digital marketing. And what type of leaders do you see emerging from this pandemic, Mr. Majola?
Well, fortunately, if you had asked me before the extreme social distancing, I would have been pessimistic, but now I'm absolutely optimistic. I have seen through my team members that you know it's just about people who take advantage of opportunities, and we've reached a point where it's now about consultancy level, where people are self-starters, they're self-driven, they know what they want to do. So I see leaders tomorrow who will be aligning themselves with companies because of their purposes, and whether those companies align with their purposes. But most importantly, I think gone are the days where we need a performance management system that monitors your every minute to see where you're looking, what you're doing, but it's more about output driven and giving the future leaders that opportunity to also to express themselves. So I honestly think that as much as we were forced into this corner, there's been a lot of positive that's come out of it, and I see a lot of silver lining that can only boost our leadership structure and eventually our economy. Because the stronger leaders you have, the stronger innovators you will get, the stronger businesses you will get, and the stronger society you will get in the long run. So I've got nothing but positivity about this right now.
Exactly my point. We've been seeing a lot of businesses now pivoting, moving their business models. They are now into streamlining. I'm going to talk about a little bit about what we spoke about during the Law and Tech Summit this week. What is success? And we are just talking about how everybody else is now, trying to accommodate. We've been really cagey about our industries. A lot of people, if you were into the marketing industry, people would say, did you do a business course? But now this is a time where now we are trying to equip ourselves with the right skills, the skills that do not need you to go to school. I'm sure a lot of people who are now into social media management did not go to school for such courses. And just from you, I want you to be able to kind of give an advice to young entrepreneurs right now about the kind of skills that they should equip themselves to be able to get into this industry and be able to be successful.
Yeah, I think in terms of skill set, like you're saying, school helps. It gives you that perspective of broadening your knowledge base. But you find that there's a lot of online courses, there's a lot of books that you read from, and some people go through mentors, and so there are different sources in terms of empowering yourself. But I'd advise that you read, investigate, find out as much, read lots of case studies, read lots of journals, and most importantly, follow the people or the leaders in the industry that you want to conquer, or the ones that you want to emulate, and that will at least enrich your knowledge base. Once you've got that knowledge base,
Can you hear me,
it's
Mr.
all about.
Majola?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello? Okay. I was saying once you have that knowledge base, it's about application. But key in our marketing industry is the whole digitization story. It's the entire innovation story. How are you going to exist with great ideas in this digital and innovative way? Because when all is said and done, human beings, in terms of marketing and communications, it's all about connecting with human beings and getting your brands to tell a story. So, how are you going to create that ideology and then come up with interesting tactics that are relevant for the day? Okay. I seem to be alive and I seem to be alone. So, I'm going to take this opportunity and talk. All right. For anyone who's out there listening and wondering what this coronavirus is going to do or its impact on our business or the industry from an advertising creative industry point of view, I think I look at it and say, or it's either you look at a cup half empty or half full. And for me right now, it's half full because there are countless opportunities. And in any age, in any industry, in any time, when you look back at the times where things were not predictable and the types of innovations that came out of there, you'll find that a lot of people made it through those phases because of their positivity. And most importantly, because in any industry, it's always about finding new solutions to help people. So there are lots of opportunities. There's a lot to be positive about. There's a lot to be happy about. And I think what we need to do now is get that understanding of brands in terms of what their roles are to consumers, and then look for opportunities around that and commercialize those opportunities. Hello, I had gone on. Welcome back.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Majola. We this is exactly where we are in Botswana right now with internet connectivity. We are speaking about innovating our industries, and yet we're still having problems with internet connection. It is this is a point where we are really saying, but how serious are we about moving towards technological solutions? Because Lolo, I want you to talk a little bit about the the problems that we're encountering right now in our industry, the creative industry. Just to say a little bit about that. Okay, it looks like Lolo cannot hear us while we are fixing.
Thank you, Rethabile. You've hit the
while
nail
we
on
are
the
fixing
head with regards to.
Okay, we kind of lost her there. So,
I-
Mr. Majola,
I could hear her slightly, and she was saying you've hit it on the nail in terms of internet connection, because yes, there is room for improvement in that aspect, because the whole digitization and the whole work from home,
yeah,
remote, whatever, relies heavily on the whole digital solution. But at the same time, if you listen to the government plans in terms of fiber to the home, fiber to the office, in terms of Bofinet and the other plans that have been there, I think the plans are there. And what we can do as civil society, business people, entrepreneurs, and those invested in the sector is just urge these industries or these sector or institutions to speed up that process. But I think the acknowledgement is there. Without reliable internet, you will find that the economy or our new way of life or a new economic revolution won't succeed or flourish as much as it should be. It should.
exactly. So this is my advice really would be that there should be a radical collaboration. I'm always talking about how most of the projects that are led by really really big parastatals are not inclusive, because you find that a lot of these projects are headed by people who mostly are from academia. And sometimes that also it can be a problem, because if you are just in academia and you do not have, like you, Mr. Majola, you've spent years hands on real issues, real problems, working on them with the people failing and making them work through strategies invented by yourself and other people. And if projects, big projects in our country were led by people, industry leaders, people who are already on the ground, and we could collaborate with academia, I see us being able to kind of get through this situation where we no longer have projects reliable for community intervention. Because what we have now is just solutions. Are they really human centered? Are they client centric? Because it could be a theory, a book theory of something that is not going to work on the ground. And if you have creatives, or we have engineers, and we have technology enthusiasts coming together working on projects, we've been seeing a lot of hackathons and solvathons. But how have those hackathons and solvathons been put on the ground to produce real tangible solutions for Botswana? And Mr. Majola, just an advice about what you can give to young entrepreneurs how would they emerge from this pandemic? Just a little advice to young entrepreneurs out there.
Well, mine is simple, and I'll base it on my same case study. I think in 2008, the world was going through the worst financial crisis, and everybody was saying that if you were to start a business, you're committing suicide, and it's not the worst time to start something new. And everybody was running. And by the way, that's the year when Incepta started. And many years later, we are here smiling and we keep growing. So I think to every single person, I think as an entrepreneur, as a creative, if you have a strong idea and you believe in it, and you strongly have done your research background, and you are confident that it will work, then let no person hold you back. Run your race, be brave enough to do it, and experiment, because it's such as life. You get into something, sometimes you fail and learn from the failure, fix it, replicate it, and try again. And sometimes you succeed without any failure. So it's up to you to try, because time waits for no person. And you don't want to be sitting here in 10 years being worried or concerned that you never took an advantage, that you felt deep inside that it was your time and your opportunity. So opportunities are there. And sometimes those who've been in the industry long enough have been comfortable with how certain things have been happening, and therefore are unable to innovate as quickly as a new person. So if you are there and you want to try your luck, I encourage you and I urge you. And if you've been in the industry long enough, I would encourage you to get off the comfort seat and realize that competition is out there. And with every single change, the stacks change, the cards change, and we all start again. And it's about who reinvents themselves quicker and who takes advantage of the opportunities quicker. I think as a company, as Incepta, we've had to embrace using technology like Teams, Skype for Business. We've got online chase systems. Our operating system is on the server. So I could literally go in, check every single thing from finance to work to workload to timesheets from the comfort of my home, because that's how the world expects us to work going forward. So those who've been in the industry, let's get off the comfort zone and continue to reimagine or innovate and come up with better ideas and solutions for clients. And those who are thinking of it, look at the value system and look for your opportunity and go straight for it.
Exactly. And Mr. Majola, I have been seeing a lot of events planners canceling the events. I'm one of the people who had to pivot because I was organizing a law and tech summit, and we had to pivot and put it and make it digital. We had to make it a virtual summit. But most of the events really, such as which needed a whole lot of space, such as showbiz, where people had to put in stalls and advertise. I saw those events being cancelled because no one was prepared. Really, no one was prepared for what is coming. And this kind of events, a lot of money were put on it, advertising, a lot of money was put on it in terms of planning ahead of time, of like even paying for. I had 3 international conferences that I was invited in having to be cancelled. Obviously those are some of the things that everybody else would have benefited from scholars to business people. And just maybe we could talk a little bit about events planning and how do we then, as event planners, see ourselves now transitioning in this pandemic, because I hope Lolo can now hear us. Lolo, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Lolo?
I can hear you. I'm using a different device. I'm not sure if I can hear you.
Oh,
I doubt that I'm audible.
Yeah.
I think proceed. And are you able to hear me? I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yeah, you're audible. We were just talking about events planning, and yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I picked the question, and the most important thing at the moment is we have no choice but to augment the use of disruptive technology. We have no choice but to embrace emerging technologies and structure that if we're able to yield good results, as well as show us better ways of delivering, because the most important thing at the moment is gathering quality data. As someone in the creative space, as someone who works with different types of brands, it's important that you're still able to do your storytelling, but do your storytelling with the use of quality data. Set yourself apart with the information that Thomas Sankara says we must dare to invent the future. And I believe this is a time for creatives to be more courageous than ever before. Dare to dream and dream big. And in dreaming big, we also have to work very, very hard. Look, the pandemic has inconvenienced all of us. It's disrupted the manner in which we do business, the manner in which we approach, problem solving. But it's also giving us an opportunity to really learn more about communication, more about collaborating, and collaborating with people you can definitely learn more from. You rightfully said Thabo has been in the industry for ages and ages. There should be an excess, an excess of people wanting to get in touch with them and say, okay, you've been in this.
Okay, Mr. Majola, I guess we are having a little bit of a problem there, but I guess we heard what Lolo is saying. Lolo is saying that she is really concerned about how we are not putting our projects in align, like we are working in silos, we are not interconnected. So that is what is killing the business right now, because if Mr. Majola comes with your digital skills and I come with my graphic skills and somebody else come with coding skills, do you know how many projects, thriving projects we would have right now? That is where we are right now, and we are asking Botswana to be able to come together. And these hackathons and these solvathons is not just things that trying to bring people to a network, but it's for us to come up with solutions that work. And it's very difficult, obviously, if you've been making your money through events and suddenly now you cannot pitch your tent. I mean, I'm really, really feeling a pain for a lot of taxi drivers right now who cannot now get on the road because they don't have permits. You cannot go to the store because you don't have a permit. You cannot pitch your tent because the wedding that you have can only allow 4 people or 5, no, less than that. I mean, you cannot gather. So what happens to those people who have invested so much money in buying all this equipment, and then suddenly now we are social distancing? This is exactly where we are, Lola. And about Lolo, you said there's noise in your background. Maybe switch something off, some audio at the background. Okay. I guess she's having.
Yeah. No, I hear you about the
Great.
events and.
Yes. So
I was saying I hear you about the events and the cost and everything else, and we have to all understand that the coronavirus has hit all of us in some shape, size, or form. And I think ultimately we just need to look at the greater good. And at some point we have to absorb the losses, take a few losses on our chin, and move forward. Because the reality is it'll come in 3 stages. There'll be the response, which is currently happening right now, where brands such as yourself with the event and the conference, congratulations, by the way, for embracing technology, where you just need to respond, because the last thing you want to do is not be there, because the brand will die for good. So it was important that you continued, and it was important that you found a way of doing it under the current circumstances, which is the response. But there will come a time where it's now about recovery, where now everything, we're about to reopen, there's optimism, the cases are almost at zero, and so on, and moving forward. And then better yet, at some point they will find a cure and they'll find medicine, and we'll be fully back at the revival stage. And we can make up.
Do you think that things will still be the same after this pandemic? I mean, would business still be the same? Do you think we'll still be pitching our tents? Do you still think we'll still be eating at public places?
Well, there are different schools of thought. Our experience and our appetite will be different. And I think as individuals will be different. But as human beings, we've got that in us to socialize. We are human. Being human being is part of socialization. You'll want to be with like-minded people. You'll want people at your wedding to celebrate with you. You'll want experiences that create memorable things. So I believe, yes, things will be different, and people will treasure their time and value great experiences. And ultimately, from an eventing point of view, it's about that. What are you going to create? And maybe it might be smaller events, but are giving people high value experience. But the reality is, the eventing scene will still have a role, provided it's safe. And once the virus is, when the cure are found, I believe that we will be back to business as usual, from a restriction point of view and from a people wanting to be at events point of view. But the events that are here or were there prior to coronavirus will have to reinvent themselves in order to remind individuals of what they have missed. But I can imagine the Chisanyama culture. For more than anything else right now, we are in lockdown every other week, lockdown
Absolutely.
party after party. But the reality is, you can never replace that interaction with friends, with jokes, with having that interaction in a social setting. So
Yes.
the
I was
experience will
actually
be-
just talking about it this week, saying that this pandemic has made us more human because, a lot of us have not been calling each other. Maybe, hi, how are you? How are you doing? Are you surviving? A lot of people I see, we've been offering most of our skills for free. We've been volunteering on different platforms, collaborating across the world. I mean, I don't know how many people have been part of some webinar, a free webinar from, really, really great people, and offering their skills for free. And this is exactly where I see the world going into, because a lot of us have been really cagey about our skills. A lot of people now on this platform sharing their skills, saying, look, I can teach you this and you can learn this from me. And, this is the I go online basically because I want people to kind of share their skills, Mr. Majola. And this is the best time to also be able to tell Botswana how you can be able to assist them, with within your business, how you can be able to assist them. And I want you to be able to let them know what you can assist them, maybe a 5 minutes from you to tell us how you can assist Botswana within your projects.
Okay, I personally, by the way, I learned a new skill. I can now edit videos. So, as much as I'd been in the industry for many, many years, it always had been one of those things in my to-do list. So, thanks to Corona, tick, done.
Yes.
But what we can do is that, as a business, we are always open to platforms such as this one to share. We are always open to collaborations. In fact, we are probably one of the few businesses, even from prior to Corona, where we didn't have skills and talents. We would look for a business that has and collaborate and work with them. We've worked with different guys who do websites. We've worked with different guys who've got technology solutions that we don't necessarily do on a day-to-day, but they specialize in. So if you have an idea and you want a partner who can collaborate and add value to your process, as Incepta, and certainly while I'm still at Incepta, we are open-minded and we're always willing to be part of a collaboration, and most importantly, add value to yourselves and our clients. And in terms of young people who want a future in this industry, we just need to reimagine how it'll work in the post-COVID life. But we open our doors to internships. Every year we take 3 or 4 of the best students in whatever shape or form, so that they can get those practical examples and learn on the job, and then go back to school and apply themselves. And most of them go out and become industry leaders in their own right, which is something that we are proud of.
Thank you so much, Mr. Majola. I I feel that this is the time for us to be able to come together as Botswana and be able to say, look, I know this, but I can help you with this. And this is exactly why I was always encouraging that people should have social clubs. Social clubs are very important. Our motelos right now are thriving because this is the time where we couldn't even just rely on the relief funds for the government. A lot of Botswana, I see them in motelos, and these motelos are really, really important because if you are in Motelo and a company or your friend's company is going through something, you could lend a helping hand and say, our friend's company is going through this, and you could be able to help them out in this particular way, than to wait for government subsidies, because this is, and we are all going through something. I mean, right now courts are closed, so it means all legal professionals, especially in the private sector, we are not working. And it's I'm a legal creative, and it means I'm a facilitator. I facilitate legal design, and facilitating legal design requires you to be really hands-on and interacting with people. And I had to pivot and take my facilitation online, something that maybe it has not been the culture here. A lot of people don't interact with websites, don't interact with websites, and this is something that is making it very difficult even for digital marketers to be putting in their adverts on their website, because if you look at the analytics on the website, you see that not even one single person has clicked on the if you put in a link, you see that not even a single person has interacted with the link. And this is where we are saying we need to transform, we need to transition, we need to move forward, because I had somebody saying that I just need this pandemic to end. I'm like, it's gonna take a long time. This is a first wave, and we don't know if there's gonna be a second wave. And we are just so fortunate that in Botswana a lot of us have not been affected, affected physically by the pandemic, but economically we have all been affected. And if we do not move forward and say we need to engage other people, it's not wrong to say, I do not know how to use this thing. Talk to Mr. Majola and say, Mr. Majola, I don't know how to edit a video. I heard you saying you know how to edit a video now. And we shouldn't be cagey about the skills we have. A lot of my friends were like, oh, so how do you go online and how do you do this and that? I was like, no problem. Let's see how I can help you to do that also. So I have a couple of my friends also going online every Saturdays and Sundays and Mondays and Tuesdays, also to advertise their businesses and also to advertise your skills. So let's use the platforms that are there for free and leverage on what we already have, because obviously right now nobody else has money to be paying for something. We all know that. But if you can pay for something, it doesn't mean that if you can pay for something, you can pay Mr. Majola for his digital skill that he's offering you. There are companies right now that are running and also have money. So if they have money to offer a skill for somebody, to say, look, I need your skill, but that also is very important. And we have lost Lolo, and sadly this was supposed to be a conversation. I see a comment from Ludo L Nkabiti. Ludo is saying, what are the current opportunities that SMEs can embark on as cash cows from your perspective?
Okay, thank you, Ludo, for the question. But I think it depends. It depends because
would you like to maybe catch on that, Mr. Majola?
Yes, I will. I think it depends, because if you look at the impact of the COVID-19, yes, socially and emotionally it has impacted all of us. But economically, there are some businesses that will flourish in different sectors of essential services, and those who are producing products that are suitable for the fight against COVID-19. So I think for an SME, it just depends on what sector you want to focus yourself on. But I would advise that for an SME right now is to look at where the money is. Look at essential services, look at the current needs that we have. Clearly, right now, getting into a restaurant business is not the best decision you'll ever make right now. But maybe start planning for post-COVID. But look at the sectors that whether it's masks, whether it's sanitizers, or whether it's delivery services. I mean, there are endless opportunities. I think, and that's where the entrepreneurship comes into play. Look at the obstacles and the challenges that we all face, and find a solution for them. In that solution, there'll be a cash cow there and you'll make lots of profit from that.
Yes. Yeah, I was literally devastated about this pandemic. I was like, if I knew 4 months, 5 months back that we are gonna need masks and gloves, I mean, a lot of people would have invested in that area of work. But now, we can't pinch ourselves and say, why didn't I think about this, right? But it's a learning process for everybody else. It's a learning process. And a friend of mine have a swim machine in the village, and we are only given 2 days to say, look, there's going to be a shutdown in 3-4 days. And you are thinking, you won't be getting your swim machine from your village to come and sew masks, right? Right now masks are compulsory to everybody. But we are not supposed to say what if and what if. Let's say what's coming, and how am I guarding my business for what's coming. And I'm very sad that Lolo cannot having a problem. You can see the network is really killing us. But thank you so much, Mr. Majola, that you've shared the stage with me. And yeah, that particular mask. I'm very happy that you shared the stage with me, and we're looking forward to other Botswana to be able to share the stage with us and be able to have conversations. We are having conversations about work and how terrible things are. Let's just, it helps. We need a pipe for blowing steam, and this is the right platform to talk about our frustrations. And I think this is exactly what we should be doing: be able to blow out steam and still be able to come up with solutions and give advice to other Botswana who are completely devastated. We're looking for also people from the medical fields who can be able to tell us about how bad this coronavirus or how not bad it is, because we need comfort, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be logged into a formal platform to discuss things like this. We also need people from the psychology field to tell us about how to deal with our stress. I mean, I miss my wine right now. This is where I am. I miss my wine. I don't know. I don't know, but we need to get over it. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us in this platform. We are looking forward to seeing you every Saturday, and anyone else who would like to put in the adverts with us on the platform and also be able to join us on the studio, contact us, drop us an inbox, and we will get back to you. Thank you so much. See you again next Saturday, 2 p.m. CAT on this platform. We are also going live simultaneously on YouTube. So if you want to see this recording again, you go on YouTube and see Justice Lab live Saturday sessions. Thank you, Mr. Majola, and the rest of the team. Goodbye.
Thank you. You're doing great, by the way. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Mr. Majola. It was great having you. Yes. Thank you so much. We didn't end the broadcast yet. Let's see why we cannot end the broadcast. I think Botswana still want to look at us to hear more from you. No, I don't know why the broadcast is not ending, but this is great. Thank you, Mr. Majola, and looking forward to have you on another show to give Botswana more advice.
It's been a pleasure, and it's been an enjoyable way to spend a good Saturday afternoon. And all the best with your show. I think you're doing an awesome show. And congratulations on being innovative, and congratulations for setting the trend and being a thought starter, because this is a platform that reminds us of the good that exists during the disaster. Like they say, there's a silver lining in that dark cloud. And for today, you are the silver lining. Here. Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm trying to end the show. Bye. Thank you so much.